Hi there, this is Stephen Newman. I'm going to attempt to do something a little bit different. I haven't really applied to any jobs in quite some time, but I came across this description for a vice president demand generation and figured I could do something a little bit different here. Let me share my screen actually. The entire screen's fine. Now you have me in Inception. But yeah, so I can appreciate and recognize that there's a lot of people out there looking for jobs, and I haven't been looking for a job for many years, but I came across this one and I check a lot of boxes, but I'm like, well, I can't just send in my resume through LinkedIn or apply into the void of a form fill. So I figured, why not do something a little bit different? I've been using AI to create various applications and pages and do all sorts of stuff. And I can go into my background later, but I wanted to show some of the cool capabilities that are available now that larger organizations are probably not capitalizing effectively, and showcase how those can be applied to the various things in this description here. And then I would like to maybe just do a quick off the cuff evaluation of the DBT Labs website. Just so I've yet to visit the page, so it'll be all off the cuff. But I'm going to take what my normal resume, and I'm going to use AI to clean it up to make it align to this description, which I'm sure a lot of people are already doing. The difference between me and everybody else is I'll just be very upfront about it. Why not use AI to make things sound better? But building trust in parallel is also very important. So anyway, enough rambling. Let's just build some fun stuff and show you a little bit more about myself and my personality, and who knows, maybe have a conversation. Maybe we work together one day. So I came across this strategy alignment makes sense. I founded a company back in 2021 that was all geared towards objectives and key results. So I know a few things about strategic alignment and executive leadership and connecting execution to strategy to results. All that makes sense. Regional marketing, I did Eloqua. I was the field marketing representative for the Northeast. So really focus on regional campaigns and the account mapping to that clustering and figuring out the segments, and currently doing, I'm working out of the UK, not out of the UK. I'm working for a company that's based out of the UK, and we're doing North America demand gen programs now. Seeing some traction in the senior living space. A lot of baby boomers getting into that segment. Digital paid SEO, been doing that stuff for many years. ABM, don't even know how to spell it. That's not sure. But ABM, I've found, everybody's got their own flavor of ABM, but I've found that the smaller you can get and the more focus that you can get on contextual learning applied to with, and then apply the timing of that, that's when ABM's the most effective. Everybody wants the new shiny object, the new leads, new pipeline, new deals. Who doesn't want that? But if you have a Rolodex, a continuous snowball of momentum of all the deals that you've worked historically, and then you can understand when they're in a cycle, that's powerful, and know what they're using and all the rest. Collaboration, love to collaborate, especially remotely. Analytics and data. The data can tell the story, but the interpretation of the data is key, is my perspective. I like to apply a little intuition, and anybody can look at a chart that's going up and to the right and be like, oh, things are good. But what are the things, the gray areas that you might not catch? That's where real data starts to come to life. Yeah, I've been doing this stuff for 10 years. Anyway, nobody really wants to hear me ramble on about how amazing I am for this job. What I want to do is build something in real time and show you a little bit of a flavor of what I can do. So basically, let me go over here. So this is your job. I'm showing the same thing twice. This is the job. This is my regular old resume, right? I'll attach it. But then what I did was I was like, okay, I got this great job description. Out of the box, I check a lot of the boxes that you're looking for. Probably the one that I don't check the box is I haven't really worked for companies as as big. I've maxed out about, actually, I shouldn't say that. Oracle was big. Never mind. So I check a lot of the boxes, and then I'm like, well, let's run this through ChatGPT and blend my resume with uh, what you're looking for, and that gives me this sort of AI enhanced version, which shocker sounds a lot better than what I wrote. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn this into a little bit of a web page. Let me see how quickly I can do it. So it's 12:23, and I'm going to see if I can't turn this into a page in, I don't know, less than 10 minutes. I think I can do that. Let's give it a go. All right. So got the page. This is how I build things. So I got I'm gonna go over to Versal. All right, and I'm just gonna use a very basic template. So Versal is like a front end content delivery system. I'm gonna have this be DBT Stephen, really original. It'll be public for now. So what this is doing, it's spinning up a repo in GitHub, which will house all the code. And Versal's the front end deployment mechanism that can handle a lot of the versioning, the logging, the various templates that I might be using. And so as this is building, what I'll do next is I'll use a tool called Cursor, which you may be familiar with, to actually build out a website very quickly using AI. So I got my code base here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to go over here to Versal. I'm going to clone the repo like that. So that's going to clone. That's going to be locally. Let's open that up. And now we're kind of getting into a little bit of a groove. Okay. So I want to create a simple website. Clear the existing content so I can start fresh. I'll send in my resume, clean it up, make it look sexy and jazzy for the web page. This is geared towards showing to DBT Labs for the purposes of highlighting how much I could add value to the org. All right, not the best prompt that I've ever written, but this is going to basically get me in a position to where I can start to spin up some very basic pages. And let's see if I can just run this locally really quick. Mt run dev. Nope, not quite ready for that. So let's go back and say install. Yeah, I got to npm. Come on, Stephen. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's still doing all this stuff. So we're hitting a little bit of a snag here, and that's okay. I can just edit this out. I forgot. So basically, what I'm doing is I have a bunch of settings here in Cursor, which gives the AI very specific rules for deploying new projects. I haven't deployed a new project in a little bit, so that's probably why I'm a little rusty with just getting the thing off the ground. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. All right, purpose of this project, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we're good. Can you install all the necessary things like npm to get started here locally? Okay, so let's let that run for a second so I can get up to speed. But what's cool is like this is the chat, and on an initial creation, it will cross-reference all my rules that I've outlined. So you can see here I have, this is how I build things. Time stamping. For whatever reason, AI is not really good about understanding what day it is today. There we go. We've started up. That's good. All right. This should be a nice, clean site. Internal server error, probably due to the fact that it's still not building. Yeah, it still hasn't completed building yet. But what's cool is it's starting to fix. Now, this is Cursor if you're not familiar with it. And I'm using, can I hide this somehow? I don't know. I'm using Claude 4. I found that each AI model is, well, they're all different, but they all kind of have their own flavor. So, like GPT is more of like the cool, vibey code bro that's more for personal interactions. Whereas if you use something like Gemini, which is the Google model, Gemini is very detail oriented, very technical, very comprehensive. Probably it's too comprehensive for my liking. A lot of times it over engineers a lot of things. Claude I found to be the most solid. Just once I started using it, I didn't find myself getting frustrated with the model, and I didn't. It wasn't being presented with problems it couldn't solve, which I found to be interesting. And so I've just been using it ever since. And let's see if we're up and running locally yet. No, we're not. All right. So let's see here. Okay. Can you create a basic placeholder page for my site? All right. So let's see what that does. I'm realizing as I'm recording this in real time, it's very raw. I've screwed up a little bit in the beginning. I will figure these things out just because that's what happens. Nobody's perfect. I'm not going to give you some clean, polished work of art. I'm just trying to show you what I do. So perhaps, oh, we got some things brewing here now. All right. It's running through. Probably skip some of this stuff. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this video and then I'm going to transcribe it. And then I'll break it into chunks so that if you don't want to watch this video, you can just scan the transcript and perhaps find it a little bit more interesting. All right, we're having a little bit of an error here, but let's see if there's still an issue. Let's see if Claude can't clean it all up. All right, some sort of issue. I am wondering what the issue might be. DBT Steven. I'm not really sure. It's always something a little silly, like a dependency that's not installed or some out of date package. Let's see. It's creating optimized build. Cannot use import statement with that module. See, now it's doing all sorts of stuff. grep is it's searching for different things. npm. Let's see. Geist mono. Multiple dev server processes running and some metadata warnings. All right. Not really sure what that's all about. You just never know these days. But I have a high degree of confidence that this will sort itself out. Okay. All right, we're live. Let's go see what it looks like. Come on now. All right. All right, so this is giving me whatever. It's giving me a very basic Let's get rid of that. Give me a very basic page. Remove this from the bottom. All right, cool. So it spit out this resume or this sort of placeholder thing. I'm going to switch it up and go get my, let's see. Actually, let's try this. Here's an idea. I mean, obviously, you got this great job description, and then there's my resume. So you're thinking, all right, how does this resume, this person fit this description? And so you're reading the description or you're reading the job resume and then you're reading your description, or maybe you're just kind of thumbing through. I just scan LinkedIn. I haven't really looked at resumes in a long time. Why don't I do this? Why don't I take all this content here? Hopefully, this is not violating any policies. Okay. Here's an idea. I'm going to paste the job description from DPT. Then I'm going to paste my personal resume. And then I want you to highlight section by section how capable, experienced, etc. I am based on whatchamacallit, based on my skill set. Okay. And then I got another little bit of an idea that I'm going to try in order to do this more efficiently. So let's go back. Let's get this. This is the job. Okay. Side note, I have a 3-year-old girl and a 1-year-old girl, a 14-year-old girl, young lady, I should say. And randomly, the Bluey theme music just pops into my head. I don't know, just did. Just figured I'd share. Okay, here's the description. I probably don't need all this stuff, although very important. All right. All right. I think that I just want to get to the main part of the. Yeah, let's go there. Okay. So that's the job. That's the job description. Now let me go over here and pull my. So this is the AI enhanced one. I'm gonna pull mine just so it's original. Okay. And then let's drop that in there. All my oceans of experience. Okay. But here's where I'm going to get creative. So you can see these were the, this was how I ran through, ran DBT Labs, put in my resume, it spit it out. It actually shows me where, where I'm strong. This is based on AI, and where I'm moderate. Overall, it says I'm an 8.5 out of 10, which I think is fair. Company size match, $100 million recurring revenue. Yeah, I would. Let's go ahead and address that. So, like, I worked for Eloqua. It was one of my first jobs in B2B. It was my first job in B2B SaaS. They were like 60 million. So, probably about the same size company. I mean, we had offices everywhere. Based out of Toronto, I worked out of Cambridge and Boston, Charlestown. Um, we went public. That's how I learned about stock options, and then we were acquired by Oracle like 6 months later for like $1 billion. And I did the Oracle thing for 9 months, and that's when I decided to move on. So although not at a company at that specific size and growth trajectory. I mean, I've got enough experience to handle that. Category expertise, no experience in data tooling, analytics, developer, engineering personas. You know what? What's interesting here is, so I founded a company, Crezo, 2021. I didn't know anything about building products. I didn't know anything about engineering. The running joke for me was I don't even know how to spell HTML because I'm a marketer, I'm more creative, I'm more visual. But that I had researched the hell out of that market and I missed it by like 2 years. Timing's everything. If I had done that 2 years sooner, I'd probably be sitting on a beach somewhere. But I knew the market, I knew how to sell, I knew how to market, and find deals, and that all proved true. What I didn't know how to do, and the part of my journey was actually getting to a point where I understood how products are built. So I ran through so many engineers; it's not even funny, but I learned so much about them and how products come together. And ultimately, we did build a product, and we were able to launch it, and we had active customers and users and all the rest. And now with AI, I'm building my own products. What's interesting is we raised over $500,000 over 2 rounds, and it took me it took me a year and a half to build an actual like viable product. Partly because my developers weren't that great, but also because I wasn't that great at managing them. But once I kind of cut my teeth and learned what needed to be done, I was able to we were able to go a lot quicker. But now with these AI tools, I built an OKR product just on the weekend a few weeks ago, just playing around in just a couple of days, and it was just as functional as what we had built with $500,000. So that just goes to show you that like the market, this is very early, but this stuff's just going to get way faster and better. So my point there is deep category expertise. I might not be an engineer by trade, but I've worked with these guys enough to understand how they think. They're very logically minded. They're very often unemotional. They're just like A plus B equals C, right? And they can also spiral if you don't manage them properly. You got to give them space to breathe, and you need to, but make sure they're not going down rabbit holes trying to fix, silly asinine bugs that don't actually have business value. Anyway, um, recent tenure, check it. It's not less than a year. I've been there for a year and a half. Company's been around for forever. They've kind of smashed a few different orgs together. The product's very dated. I tripped and fell into a great job working for a colleague of mine just out of nowhere. And, it came at a time when we just needed some capital and a steady paycheck because the business wasn't generating traction like I was hoping. And so it came in perfect timing. It's been a lot of fun. It's not what I want to be doing. And I'm also wildly underpaid. So this would be a lot more in line with what I'm looking for. Oh, I'm running out of time here. Okay. Because they only let me record up to 30 minutes. Recent tenure. So I've been there for a year and a half, still there, just starting to kick the tires on something different. Brand name, enterprise leadership, highly scaled SaaS brands. I don't know. Form.com, Eloqua, Thought Industries was a lesser known startup out of Boston. I was the first marketing hire. We've scaled that up to a $100 million exit almost. The CEO gave me his boat as a consolation prize because I didn't buy my equity. That's a separate story. So anyway, what I was going to say is, so I can I can use this to transcribe my thoughts, and then I'll paste it into um, Cursor here to actually give me something a little bit more relevant. So I got less than 5 minutes, and I'm going to wrap this up. Um, this says overall fit, I'm a 78. Interesting. All right, is this building out did this build out the page for me? Yes, yes, yes. Actually, I'm going to add more context here before you build. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. Here's my little trick. So I got ChatGPT running, and then I'm going to pull up the job description. Come on. Okay. Let's go over here. I'm not going to have time to do my real time site evaluation. I feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot with this approach. Maybe not. All right. I mean, I kind of already did that. Okay. All right. So I got to be quick. Developing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm speaking towards my experience based on the various bullet points. I'm going to copy that transcription into Cursor, and then that can be applied to the page that we're trying to build. I'm going to try to do this really quickly. Um, Global demand generation strategy that leverages all relevant marketing channels. Yes, paid, SEO, organic, print, events, digital events, um, email, outbound, inbound, Google ads, LinkedIn ads, ABM, retargeting. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? I can use and do all of them. The key is to find one really, really, really good channel. That's it. Um, Domain generation strategy, programs and budget, can do all that. Big into personas and messaging that is aligned to what you're selling. So I'd want to dig into that. I want to talk to customers and hear how they talk about their problems, not just read a bunch of material. Cross-functional teams. I work with sales, marketing, finance, executives. I've been an executive. You name it. So strategy and alignment. Obviously, OKRs. I'm very much focused on like what are we executing and how are we going to measure success. Regional marketing. I've done all that through field marketing. Boots on the ground. I work really well with sales teams. Actually, all my positions in marketing have been connected at the hip with sales. So that's an easy one. ABM, just got to define the target market. Digital campaigns can do all that. Collaboration. I've kind of already gone through all this stuff, so we're good. I'm a good fit. Right? And so I'm just going to pause that. It's going to transcribe it. Getting down to 2 minutes, so I got to go really fast here. All right. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to go over here to Cursor and boom, drop that in. All right. So that's good. And let that generate something. Great content, blah, 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 blah. All right. All right. Now rebuild the site. Gold. All right. Now rebuild the site. All right. So while that's doing that, let me go to DBT Labs. DBT Labs, not tabs. All right. I'm just gonna do a quick off the cuff evaluation of the site as it stands today. Lots of lowercase and uppercase inconsistency. Would probably want to figure that out. All right, pretty standard product, solutions, customers, resources, community, pricing. Very, very clean. I like the aesthetic. Meet the new DPT, right? I'm not really sure I like that because what if you don't know the old DBT? Like, I don't know DBT. What problem? Faster, better, more collaborative. So your new version is better than your old version. One would hope that would be the case, but I digress. What problems are you solving? What's the big vision or what's the problem, right? All right, explore, accelerate, experience, right? AI is changing. So I'm like, AI is great, but it's already overplayed. If you're, it's like the cloud. It's like whatever. Everybody's using AI. Are you solving tangible problems with it? That's the key. AI is solving a tangible problem for me, and the fact that I can actually write code, and it's enabling me to write code in a way that lets me deploy applications, web applications quicker. Down to 30 seconds. All right. Trust is huge. Data quality, better. Top companies use this. That's great. Data validation makes sense. The stack. All right. So there's a lot of good stuff. I'll come back to this because I only got 18 seconds. Let's check on my site and see what it looks like. Oh my gosh, it's coming out of the wire. Oh no, it didn't do it. Oh shit. Oh, it's thinking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.